Good morning. I'm Mary Winters, gerontologist and owner of About Senior Solutions. You're watching Visionary Aging, and get your coffee or your tea because we have a great show today. We're going to celebrate George's birthday. I'm not going to tell you where he's from, so you can guess where he's from, but he's amazing, and his family wanted to celebrate him, so we're celebrating him today. Also, we have Steve McCullough on, and he's had a bunch of people ask him about a movie that's out on Netflix, and we're going to talk about it a little bit. Also, we have Kevin J. Moore on with us. He is an estate planning attorney who specializes in taxation, international law and taxation, which I think is amazing. And we're going to get some of his insights, his top-notch insights, and he'll share that today with us. But first, let me go over and we're going to share a little bit about our interesting little gentleman here. I'm going to add him into the mix. Here we go. Look at how handsome this young man is. He is from Gulfport, Mississippi, and WLOX, their reporter there, Jasmine Lotz, shared that this World War II hero is celebrating his birthday. It was actually on Monday, and his family wanted to make sure it was very special with all kinds of cars to come by and wonderful celebrations and cake. And let's see if I can get some other things here. His picture from more recent. Here we go. Oh no, this is his World War II picture. Actually, he served in the U.S. Army when it was really still a new branch, the Air Corps, the U.S. Army Air Corps, and he received a Purple Heart. His family and his daughter Ellen in particular wanted to make sure he was celebrated. And he has such a compassionate, wonderful heart. He said that all people that he's met in his life, about 99% of them, treated him with respect, and he thinks in general people are really good. And that was something my dad always used to say too. People are generally very good, and we just need to give people a chance sometimes. And he said he wanted to teach his children what is good and what is bad. So he was such an amazing example of that. He said when he was 5 years old, he used to take the trash out for a little neighbor lady every Saturday, and she wanted to give him 10 cents. But he wouldn't take the money because he said, "Ma'am, I'm doing you a favor. Volunteering is voluntary. There's no money involved, and it's just about human kindness." And so that's just his philosophy in life. He's volunteered so much over the years to children's sports. And he says, even though he knows he's not a spring chicken anymore, he still takes on the day with a smile. I don't really feel a whole lot different at 100 than I did at 90, when he was kind of laughing about that. But he said, I do some of the same things I've done for a long time. And I still get up and brush my teeth. I want to greet the day. I want to keep my friends and my family close to my heart. And I've tried my best in everything I do. So I hope you're proud of me. And Mr. Roberts, we are proud of you. And we're very excited that you're able to celebrate your 100th birthday. So have a fantastic birthday. And I'm going to add this little picture into the mix too, because this is what they did to celebrate him. They put that huge sign there. So I think that's really, really amazing. So next we're going to have Steve on with his caregiver question. So let's go ahead and we'll ask. Wow, well, here we go. We have all kinds of little things going on here today. We have all kinds of little upsets. Our screens don't want to work, but here we go. We're going to get Steve in here quickly. I know we're going to make it. Here we go.
I made it.
Yay, here you are. So tell us. Good morning. Wasn't that a neat celebration for George?
I want to meet George. What a great guy. I love his voluntary is voluntary too. I love that.
I know. And I love how he said, I believe that people are good in nature. People are good people. Our majority of people are really good. And I think that's true too.
I know it was true in his time. I hope it's still true in our time.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're going to see more of what's good. I hope the good shines more, or it's shown more over the next few years too. So,
Me too.
So
I think people definitely have a better perspective.
So what are people asking you, Steve? What's the question you got?
So yeah, this movie, it's either on, I guess, I saw it on Netflix, but I Care a Lot. Uh, it's supposedly based on on real life events. And so a lot of people are asking me, worried if this is something that could happen and if there are predatory people out there and how to avoid them. And, if this is something that, realistically could happen to anybody.
Well, it's not happening in California. It would have to be quite a conspiracy, but the movie could be in another state that we're not aware of how they run their process. But the fact is, we call it a conservatorship here, not a guardianship, unless they're a minor. But the individual who's being potentially conserved has representation, independent, and assigned from the court. Even the woman that was representing herself in the movie, she would be represented by counsel also. So it would be, and there was so much in regards to the nursing homes and different places. They were all in it together to kind of drug the person and take over the money. But then
right.
I also thought it was very interesting how it turned into a kind of a Kill Bill kind of thing. So it was kind of fun to watch. But I also know that wouldn't happen, and that wouldn't happen, and that wouldn't happen. So rest assured, at least in California, your people are much more protected in the conservatorship process than that. So
that's good. I mean, I think we know that. It's hard to sometimes convince people that are just not familiar with the legal system, not trusting the legal system. But yeah, there was a lot of anxiety, not a lot, but there was anxiety over these events.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And especially if you don't know how it works, then of course you're going to think, this is horrible. This is
right.
Something that should never happen, and it shouldn't ever happen. But it doesn't happen in our courts, that's for sure. So yeah, much better. So guess who we have on the program today? We have I told you who's going to be on the program today. Kevin Moore from Moore and Associates is on with us today. So he's going to talk a little bit about estate planning and taxation with with an international flavor and so forth. But he might even comment a little bit on the conservatorships and this movie.
Nice. I've known Kevin almost as long as I've been in Pasadena.
Oh, really? Yeah, he's a third generation Pasadenian.
Yeah.
So he's been here. He and his family have been here a long time too. So
yeah, great guy.
Yeah, definitely. So let me. I'm going to go ahead and introduce him. How's that?
All right. You have a great show.
Okay. Thanks.
We'll see you at the end.
All right. Absolutely. So Kevin is a third generation Pasadenian, as we mentioned before, and he's going to talk about the importance of having a trust in place. And since 1992. With his agency, they've specialized in estate planning, probate, real estate, corporate law, tax planning, and tax avoidance to help the owners of family-owned and closely held businesses to protect their wealth and bring order to their personal and financial situations. He is, let's see, in 1992, he's had his firm. But he wanted to really settle in Pasadena just to support his hometown and community. And he focuses on business transactions and tax planning and tax controversy representation for individuals and companies. But over the last couple of years, he's built a reputation for repeated wins in court on behalf of the firm's clients. And I have to say, people who are represented by Kevin are particularly pleased with their outcomes and the support because he's a bright man and really capable of providing very specialized service. He actually was in Salzburg, Austria for a few years, and he worked for the law firm Salpius and Partners. And over that 4-year time that he was there representing clients on an international and domestic basis with investments and so forth, he acquired and broadened his legal skills and for helping clients build and protect their wealth. So I know he is highly educated. I think he's even been a professor at a law school. How about if we go ahead and we bring in Mr. Moore? Let's see here. Oh, there's Kevin. Or there's,
I'm here.
there we go. Let's put that. We'll get your picture out. There we go. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for coming on.
Nice to be on. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity, and hopefully I can impart some words of wisdom to your audience.
Absolutely. We know that you are quite a specialist, so I'm very excited to have you on. And let's just kind of put that to rest too, since you are in the courts and you're very familiar with conservatorships. That movie, I Care a Lot. Could that happen, at least in California?
So when I was watching it with my wife and our son, and throughout the whole movie, I kept yelling, saying, "That can't happen! That can't happen!"
Right.
A court-appointed counsel would have been appointed. Now, as you rightly say, everyone involved was conspiring against these conservatees. So I guess you could get lucky, or you could arrange for a friendly court-appointed counsel whom you secretly conspiring with. So I guess it could potentially happen. I think it certainly wasn't California that this took place. No. The one man whose mother was a conservatee, he was on early on, and then at the end of the movie, I don't want to spoil it. So, but he was wearing a Cardinals hat.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it could be Missouri.
There you go. Well, just even the residential areas where they were filming, it didn't look like it was California at all.
Yeah, it was too green.
It was Midwest or something. But yeah, I don't think it could happen there. But it does bring up a point too. When you choose a fiduciary, you have family or that you are not going to elect to be your decision maker. You do kind of want to know the personality of the fiduciary who may be assisting you, and know if they align with what you want personally. So
yeah, so when clients don't have family members, or for whatever reason don't want their family members to act as their fiduciaries, I often appoint, depending upon the case, I often introduce the client to professional fiduciaries. Have them interview 2 or 3 of them, usually in my office. And oftentimes, if it's a larger estate, maybe it'll be a corporate trustee. But typically it's a professional fiduciary, and it's for that very reason why I want them to actually meet the professional fiduciary, because there is, it's really important to have a good rapport, to have good trust with them. So, should it be a male? Should it be a female? Younger, older?
Sure, exactly. And I think when you make that introduction for someone, it is important because they feel much more secure about their future. So kind of tell me a little bit about how you go through the estate planning process with your clients.
So, well, pre-pandemic or pandemic?
Yeah, no, that's different. Although you're still protecting them nonetheless.
Yeah. So pre-pandemic, and it's pretty much the same. It just might be Zoom. So I will meet directly with the clients in my office, but I often go to their house or to their location. I find that's important in some cases because some people are not so ambulatory, they're immobile, so I'll always offer that service where I go to their house. But I meet with them, and I'll spend probably a good hour, maybe more, just getting to know them and talking about them and getting a feel for what their objectives are. We know from a general proposition, from an estate planning point of view, what objectives are. But oftentimes clients have little nuances that don't come out until you really get to know them.
Yes.
So I'll spend that time getting to know them so I can individualize ultimately the estate plan that we come up with to their particular needs and their nuances.
Yeah, that's neat. So do you have many clients who are either living in 2 countries or I know you have this specialty of international estate planning too. So tell me a little bit more about those.
Yeah, so there's a lot of tax implications for non-resident aliens. I think that word's going to be changing to non-citizens now. So non-citizens who invest in the U.S., whether it be in a business, typically it's real estate. There's not only estate and gift tax implications to that, there's also income tax implications to that.
Sure.
So we call those transactions inbound transactions, where money, investments coming into the United States.
Okay.
As opposed to a U.S. person investing outside the U.S., we call that outbound transactions. So it's primarily, not exclusively, but primarily inbound transactions. So, you know, with a non-citizen, they don't enjoy the high exemptions that you and I and other resident aliens or citizens enjoy, which is currently $11.7 million.
Oh, wow.
They get $60,000 unless there's a treaty that overrides it. And there's only really a handful of treaties. So yeah, there's 180 income tax treaties. There's only 15 or 16 estate and gift tax treaties that the US has. So most of the time you don't benefit from, so for example, China, there's no estate gift tax treaty with China. The Philippines, Thailand. So a lot of our investors here in California come from those areas, and so you have to rely on the code. They get a $60,000 exemption from their estate.
Interesting.
So you do the math, they buy a property, which is easy to do, for $1 million in California. They're going to have an estate tax on that at 40% of $940,000, unless they structure it properly.
Okay. All right. I know even with Proposition 19, that's probably creating a lot of interesting scenarios.
Wow, that was a bonanza.
Yeah.
So from about July until February 15th, the effective date of the Proposition 19, it was pretty maddening, because from July to the end of the year, everyone was doing estate planning, believing that depending on the election outcome, that estate taxes or the estate tax exemption was going to go down. So there was a lot of year-end planning. And then as soon as the year-end came, we had to deal with Proposition 19, which pretty much effectively did away with parent-child exclusions from reassessment. And that effective date was February, the last date of transferring property was February 15th. So it just went the end of the year straight to February 15th.
So are you ready for a vacation now?
Yeah, I'm ready for a vacation. I'm going to do the vacation next week, so looking forward to that.
That's great. Yeah. Well, so what countries are better as far as inbound investments with the treaties that they?
Great Britain is an excellent country to come from if you're investing in the U.S. They have this provision, unlike any other in international state taxes. Their citizens or residents can elect to be treated as a U.S. resident or a U.S. citizen for estate tax purposes, and thus get the $11.7 million exemption, and not just the $60,000 exemption. There's a lot of factors that go into making that decision, because once you elect to be treated as a U.S. citizen for estate tax purposes, now everything comes into the fold, not just your U.S. property.
I see. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah. You almost are a citizen then, the way they're looking at your.
Yeah, exactly right. If you elect to be treated as a citizen, it's not a half measure, right? It's complete.
Wow, amazing.
But it does provide some unique opportunities that you don't get anywhere else. Germany is a good country because they allow for a proportionate use of the estate tax exemption. So if they have 20% of their total property is in the United States, they get 20% of the $11.7 million exemption.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah.
Do treaties change very often, or?
No, they don't. No, they're pretty much set in stone. I mean, there might be a protocol here and there every once in a while, but no, they really haven't changed much. And there's really nothing on the horizon where they're negotiating new treaties with other countries.
So I would imagine you have some pretty big teams sometimes working with some of your clients, international clients, to really figure out how to best support them. And are they here? Do they have to be here a certain part of the year, a certain time of the year?
Sometimes they're here, sometimes they're not. If they're here, then usually they're residents, and now they're treated like anybody else. So usually they're not here. So they're non-residents, they're non-citizens. So they don't get the estate tax exemption.
I see. Interesting. So take me through the process then again with your estate planning. So
Yeah.
obviously these are really big items that you would be chunking out of planning their estate too.
Well, one of the nuances that I was referring to earlier, it's, how much, and this kind of goes to the movie, I Care a Lot, right? How much trust are you willing to put into your fiduciary, whether that be a professional fiduciary, or whether that be a family member who's acting in a fiduciary capacity. And this came up a lot during the Proposition 19 fiasco. So oftentimes, in really the scenario where we were really doing work for Proposition 19 clients, the client tended to be older, right? So maybe their life expectancy was going to be, relatively short. And so, okay, let's transfer the property now. And in many of these cases, they may not have had full capacity to carry out any kind of major or significant changes. So we would have to rely on a power of attorney given to the child or to whoever is acting as the fiduciary to act on their behalf. And, most powers of attorney, if you buy one of these forms at the drugstore, one of these pre-printed forms, they're very, very limited.
Yes.
So, it doesn't give, for example, the fiduciary the power to make a large gift to an irrevocable trust or to create an irrevocable trust and to do the things that we could do in order to minimize reassessment as well as estate taxes. So I really focus in on those, and they're not just giveaway forms, right? We're going to just throw in the power of attorney or the medical directive. I actually go through various provisions of the power of attorney to go through things just like that and explain to them the wisdom and the risk of expanding some of those powers in the durable power of attorney.
Sure. Yeah, I often tell people that you're giving people your golden ticket. Remember in Willy Wonka when the boy found his golden ticket in his chocolate bar?
Yeah.
You are giving that golden ticket to somebody else to make your decision. So you do want to make sure it's the right
But
person.
as you know, almost any transfer from a fiduciary to himself or herself is void. So there has to be an extremely good reason.
Freezing up a little bit. Let me wind up calling him really quickly because I know he's having some trouble with his computer. So let me go ahead and we'll put him on speaker and get him going.
Hey, Mary.
Hi, Kevin. So yeah, just great point. You were bringing up, we were saying you've got a little bit of some technical difficulties here, and maybe you'll come back on. But go ahead and finish what your comment was.
So I don't know where I was lost when I was talking about powers of attorney and having to tailor them to particular client's needs and comfort level, so that we can give powers of attorney to fiduciaries and make them broader, so that if there's tax law changes that come down the road at a time when the client is incapacitated, we can take advantage of some of those estate planning techniques.
Sure.
And probably where I was lost, where I got cut off, was it's really a balance, because yes, you're giving more powers to the fiduciary, but there's so many laws. Any transfer from a fiduciary without an independent certification by an attorney, they're pretty much void. I mean, you have to have a darn good reason to violate, to transfer property to yourself. So it's not so much a golden ticket.
No, okay, that's great. Good to know. And I also think about it as far as somebody taking care of you as a person too, with the advanced healthcare directives. I was talking with a woman the other day who had her husband conserved, and she mentioned how many women, when their spouse may have early signs of, or the signs really aren't too apparent, but they're making really poor decisions on their finances and so forth, but it turns out that they wind up having some kind of cognitive issues, some kind of executive functioning issues where they're just not making good decisions. And so you're able to also protect the whole family then when they put
Well,
up
what's
with
good is, while these powers of attorney and medical directives tend to avoid probate, the probate court's always there to supervise when necessary. So if someone's making inappropriate personal decisions, or for that matter, property decisions, you can always seek redress in the court.
Okay. Yeah, and so I am familiar with the fact that you have a great department in your firm.
I do. So my partner, she's my partner now, Debbie Deutsch, she pretty much focused exclusively on conservatorships and guardianships and probate litigation. She became a partner as of January 1st.
Oh, congratulations. Yeah.
Yeah, she's been with me over 11 years, so
Oh, really? Okay.
she definitely deserved it. She earned it. She's an excellent attorney.
She is. She is. And so, what other tips do you have for the day as far as coming in and seeing Kevin J. Moore law firm? What other things? I know you make people feel very special is not the right word, but comfortable, I think, is the right word.
That's so important.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they go into an attorney's office and they feel intimidated. Might be a good word.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to just be as down to earth as possible and encourage people to speak. I don't speak over them or above them. So I really try to remove any sense or feeling of fear or intimidation. And I think it's important that people look at their estate plan every couple of years, even if it's a relatively small estate, because it's not, it's your estate, right? Whether it's $200,000 or $20 million. And, to consider your fiduciaries, to just go over them. I don't charge for that. I do that as a courtesy. So I meet with my clients regularly. If we're going to do some work or something like that, we'll agree on a fee. But otherwise, just to meet, go over and talk, I really, really encourage that.
Yeah, no, that's really important. And I have been in so many situations where somebody has not reviewed or made changes at least to their estate plan, and their decision makers are either passed or in the hospital. And when they can't make those decisions themselves, then it does go to a conservatorship, typically, correct? Or unless they're able to make that decision.
And, then it's up to the court. People can object. So it's always good to have at least nominees, people who can nominate, because the court will give great deference to that. So if you nominate XYZ, unless there's some reason that's brought to the court's attention why XYZ should not act as fiduciary, they're going to appoint that person.
Exactly. Any other final words from Kevin J. Moore? And we have you can't see this because you're not on right now, but I have your email scrolling on the bottom, www.kjmlaw.com, if you want to reach out to Kevin. Anything else that you'd like to share with us?
I think that's it. I think we covered a wide range. We covered a lot of international tax, but because I really wanted to focus on just really the importance of having that personal relationship with your attorney.
I agree because
it's really, really important.
It's nice to hear that when the rubber hits the road and there is an emergency, that they are very familiar with their client, and I think that's very important.
They're there.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's also good. I'm not a big advocate of big firms, but to have your attorney be part of a firm, I think that's also a benefit, because it's not just that attorney who's involved. It might be my case with Debbie. She gets involved in various aspects of the case, and our staff and so forth. So, God forbid something happened to me, they can just pick up from where we left off.
Absolutely. It's backup. That's why I have the same model for my business too. There's more than just me. Other people will be able to step in, and they're familiar with the other faces in our office too, which is very important, I think. So, Kevin, thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate it. Kevin J. Moore, everyone. And if there are questions you have, you see his.
Hold on for one.
All right. Okay.
So you cut me off.
All right. Sounds great. Thanks so much. Have a great one.
Thanks, Mary. It's
Okay.
nice talking to you.
You too. Thank you. So we'll bring Steve back, and it's unfortunate that he got cut out on the video, but great information. I always find it really fascinating too. The international law, I think, is so fascinating.
Point about how he makes people feel comfortable and how people get intimidated. I had a conference call with a client who knows me, knows our firm, but I called and I introduced myself, just because that's what we do, and I said, "I'm calling from a law firm," and he hesitated, he paused. He's like, "Okay, wait, do I have to get my legal hat on?" And I'm like, "No, Phil, it's just me." He's like, "When I hear legal, I just, it just clicks in my head. I gotta, think about what I'm doing and what I'm saying, and people, and that's someone who deals with our legal team a lot, right? So people who don't deal with people in the legal field, it's intimidating."
It is intimidating. I know, and people have these preconceived ideas of I hate attorneys, but a good attorney has your back, and
He's a great guy. I mean, I told you I've known Kevin since almost as long as I've been in Pasadena, and he's just a solid, nice, great guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, how about what's going on for the weekend? Anything interesting, exciting? Things are opening up. It should be a nice weekend. What are you up to?
I have actually plans to go to the Huntington tomorrow.
Oh, fun. Walk around.
Yeah, so I'm going to do that, bring a book. Hopefully the weather's nice, and just catch up on some me time, maybe get a run in. How about you?
You know what? I have no plans.
No?
So I will have to. I'll have something fun to do. But actually,
You saw your grandchild last week, right?
I did. It was great to see them. And
Yeah.
my grandson is going to be one very soon. So we'll be planning some things. And I'm going to be doing grandma duties soon too, where I'll be watching them for a couple of days. So that'll be fun also.
Too young to have grandchildren.
I know. I am. But it's okay. They're here.
Right.
So yeah, we also have, if you want to do your own planning, a little planning, and see where you're at as far as things that you need to get together, you can find out if you're an action hero or if you found the fountain of youth, and you can just go right to our website, aboutseniorsolutions.com, and you can take that quiz. It takes maybe 2 minutes, and you can find out where you're at in your process, and we'll forward some resources, right? It just automatically sends some resources to you when you finish that quiz. So go ahead and check it out. So, all right.
Excellent.
Have a great weekend. And
You have a better one.
It's good to know that I Care a Lot is not real in California. Cannot happen, right?
Yes, that's very comforting for a lot of people.
Exactly. All right. Have a great one, my friend. See you next
You
week.
too.
Okay.
Bye, Mary.
Bye. And here we go.